First of all, welcome to whoever is marking this. This is going to be my blog format for this submission, and I think this first video I'm just going to explain what my installation is and why I've chosen to do it this way. First of all, it is going to be an interactive installation using computer vision. The idea is that I'd have like a big screen and a camera in front of it. That camera is watching participants. It's using OpenCV. It's using a computer vision sort of model that will read the gestures and closeness between participants and group two of the best participants into a dyad, and then that dyad will be measured for interactions like closeness, hand holding, touching, kissing, and all those sorts of things. And it will have interactive music which will be funneled through Max for Live, and we'll use Ableton Live to basically produce and run a composition based off of the actions that are being registered by this computer vision system. There will also be visuals over the screen with Touch Designer so that participants have a little bit more of an idea of what they're doing and why that creates like an effect or a change on the music, and also is for like cohesion and aesthetic purposes. I chose this idea because last year I went to loads of like different concerts and shows, and like as a DJ myself I was really interested in like learning how you read a dance floor and what like conditions do you have to create the best interactions between people, because depending on if, I don't know, one thing I observed is that like dance floor interactions between people tend to be very, very different depending on what kind of music is playing, what environments are being created, like what the situation is. It's just like a really interesting study that I've been thinking through. Sometimes like you can kind of piss all of your guests off of the dance floor by playing a song that isn't really danceable, and as such kind of accidentally isolating all of your dancers by doing so, or you can create a really like nice and warm environment that will invite people to dance more and start talking to each other, and all of these like really sort of valuable things. The theorem behind this project was like intimacy being sort of reduced and commodified under like techno-capitalism and like the post sort of Margaret Thatcher era. Rave culture kind of sprung up during Margaret Thatcher's term as like kind of like a direct act of protest towards like the way she was behaving towards marginalized communities. Music and club culture was kind of a form of resistance, and there's also like I wrote a lot about the theory of which like rave culture exists outside of the system of normally commodified intimacy, where we kind of look to intimacy and intimate relationships to protect us from like capitalism, but that's not really how anything works. Anyways, that will be further explained in a different post. Until then, here's a demo of the thing working. Enjoy.
Yet again, I looked back with all my might, without questioning it. The air peeling off my body as I've woken up spoiled.